Okay, your Bosch dishwasher has the infamous E15 error. E15 water tap. You'll hear it cycle on and try to drain water and then turn off, and it'll just keep cycling. It won't stop. You hear it? So it's trying to run the pump and drain the water. You can turn it off. Starts right back up again. You can press your reset button. Hold for 3 seconds. Nothing happens. Now, this is caused by a few things, but what's happening is in the bottom of the dishwasher, underneath the dishwasher down here, there is a safety pan that catches water. And that safety pan has accumulated enough water that the float inside lifts up and detects that it is full of water. And so it is not going to add any more water or do anything else. And it's going to keep running the ejection pump and trying to dump water out. And I'll show you what that looks like underneath. Okay, now, a couple of things you've got to do. You need to be able to pull your dishwasher out in order to drain the water. So, depending on which model you have, most Bosch dishwashers mount on the side here. If you look at this rubber gasket, and there's a screw right there. I've already taken the screw out right there. One screw there on the other side, one screw there, and then you can slide the dishwasher out. You can pull it and slide it out. Now, here's your problem. Your water lines go from your cabinet through the sidewall of the cabinet to the back of the dishwasher. If the plumber did not leave you a lot of slack, you cannot pull this dishwasher out, and you need to go under your cabinet, pull all your stuff out, turn the water off, and disconnect the water lines. That might be you. And be careful. Don't just yank on it, because I know people that have just yanked on it and they break the water line in the cabinet and then they create a huge flood. So make sure you know how to turn the water off. It's usually a knob under your sink, but not always. This one I can pull out about 6 inches, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I've pulled out my dishwasher about 6 inches. I'm on the left side. There's some sound insulation, which is what makes your Bosch dishwasher so quiet. We're going to lift this sound insulation up. So I've lifted the sound insulation. And now if you look in and see, that round disc in the middle, that is the float. And you can see here, if I zoom in, you can see I have standing water. Let me go ahead and tap on it. See that standing water? I have standing water. And this floats up and down. And when it floats up in that standing water, it triggers that E15. So what can cause this? What can cause this? Well, there's a few things that cause water heat. One of them is your water valve. Okay, so back there, that water valve, there are videos. So if you watch, and if that water valve right there is dripping when it's running, or when it's off, it'll drip into the pan and it will fill this up and leak. Another big common one is the door gasket. You've got great door gaskets running around your doors, but what you have is right under this lip on the door. This is really common. Right under this, you can feel it with your hands, and sometimes food gets stuck in there and will cause it to run over the edge. You can't see, you need to feel this. You also can get mineral buildup on this gasket, so you can pull this gasket out and scrub it down and get all the mineral buildup off of it. Another thing that can happen is if your water valve is bad and it overflows in your dishwasher and you have standing water in your dishwasher, it'll fill the whole thing up and it will roll over this lip and flood. So that's also your water valve. Now, I don't have any of those problems. I have sort of the worst one, which is, if you look, this is where the bottom tub connects to the drain, that gray drain. And you see over here, there's all kinds of mineral buildup. My tub is leaking where it is sealed to that gray drain. So Bosch knows this is a common problem, and they sell a retrofit gasket that you put in from the top, from inside there, to fix this. So if you can look in the side and you look around the drain here and you see water running, dripping, or like this white calcium buildup like I have, then you know you've got that kind of a drip. Now, another way to tell is the water that you're going to get in the pan is going to be dirty water. It's going to be your dirty dishwater. If it's crystal clear water, it's your water valve. But if it's dirty water, it's coming from your tub. So that's the way you can tell sort of which side of the process it's coming from. Okay, so one more option for an E15 error is if the water is backing up in the bottom of your dishwasher, and it can do that for a couple of reasons. I mentioned if the water valve is bad and it's constantly trickling water in. Now that's easy to check. You open the bottom, you take your filter out. Let's get this swing arm out of the way. And if water is trickling in, you'll see a run of water right here, just a drip, and you'll be able to watch it come in. You can just sit there and wait and watch it run in, and then this will eventually fill up. It might take 2 or 3 days. It might just be a very slow drip. Another option that could be is that you have food got past your filter canister, so your standard filter canister. You don't clean it very often, and food got past it. But the impeller for the drain pump is under that little white plastic filter. So you grab that tab, grab it with pliers, pull it out, and pull this up. Now you can see that little food that floated right there. So you get little food bits, and they get stuck on that impeller. So if you reach down there with your finger, and you can make sure you can turn that impeller, there's no food stuck. Give it a few turns, it'll dislodge any food that'll float out. You can see how I've got some food floating right there. Let me vacuum that up and I'll show you what it looks like when there's no water. All right, now I vacuumed the water out and you can see that plastic impeller, and food gets caught in that and it prevents that impeller from turning. So it needs to turn freely. But sometimes you'll get food caught in there and you have to pull this sort of plastic clip out to get access to it. And then you snap that clip back in. So that's another possible cause, because that impeller can't turn. There's another plastic clip on the back here that you can reach your fingers under and pull out. This is just to clear everything in case if you've never cleaned this drain, you should pull those out and then they'll snap back in place. Now let's talk about the repair we're gonna do. So the problem is that this stainless steel tub meets this plastic tub, there's a gasket in there. And I guess this is a one-time, non-replaceable. It's probably glued together in the factory. And they have figured out that fails with vibration. And then water gets through here and leaks out when you're doing the dishes. So they have made a retrofit kit with a little O-ring. And so you have to take this plastic off, and then you do this without pulling your dishwasher. You do it from right here. We're gonna unscrew these screws, we're going to press the plastic down, and we're going to try to snake that O-ring in. There are other videos on this, and it looks painful, so we're going to do it together and see if I can make this any clearer. The access is difficult because you're straddling over the door, and it doesn't look easy, it doesn't look fun, but we'll see what we can do. So that's what we're going to tackle. All right, so these 4 screws are Torx 20. You can have a Torx 20 or just buy little bit ends for it. I'm going to take these out. Tell you what, I'm worried about stuff dropping into that impeller, so I'm going to put this back. That's as easy as it goes for that. This one I'm going to drop back in place as well. That's as easy as that. Now, if anything drops in, there's a bit of a screen. Let's take these others out. These are our 4 screws. The kit I bought comes with these 4 screws. I'll show you the kit. This is the kit. I bought it on Amazon. We'll look at it a little more closely in a minute. But it's the O-ring, a little wire feed, and 4 new screws. I don't know that I'm going to use the 4 new screws, but they're there. Now I need to take this plastic off. And I'm going to need to get this stalk off, which I think clips in to the back. Somehow it clips. Yeah, it clips into the back and then connects in the top. I want to get it all the way out, so I'm going to move you for a second. There you go. So I got it all the way out. It clips in. It's pretty dirty. Never been behind it before, but that's out and out of the way. So now you can see what we're working with. This plastic has started to lower down. It's got movement. You've got these 2 screws are a post. And that's what our challenge is going to be. You can see some of the mineral deposits. And then the front's pretty flat. The principal repair is a very soft O-ring. And let's take a look at the size. This O-ring is going to go under the stainless steel. And you're going to tuck it under that stainless steel until it goes sort of around this horn. You see how this sheet metal is folded down like a horn. That's what we're trying to do. We got to get it up in there. Now, to do that, I have to get it over these posts. And that's a challenge in and of itself. The posts have little reinforcing sprues on them, which make it difficult. But what they give you is they give you a little wire to use as a feed. So it's fairly easy to sort of push down on this and tuck this in, but you got to get it over those posts. So they give you this little wire, and what they want you to do is feed the wire through here, like this. And then, I guess you have to do it this way after you pinch the O-ring. So you're going to grab the O-ring, then you're going to take the wire and feed it one at a time from the bottom up around this post right here. Now that's fed twice. Okay. Now, they say lubricate this with soap, or I've seen people say lubricate it with soap. I haven't lubricated it with anything. We're going to see how this goes. This wire is very slippery and difficult to grab, but the O-ring is pretty soft and supple. I'm pushing down, I'm pushing off to one side, and that's it. It's all the way around. So it has gone around that post now. Now I need to pull the O-ring back so it lays down back in that hole. So I am now moving that O-ring off to the side, moving that there. That's all it took. I'm all the way through. That's it. This was described as much more difficult than this. So you're watching me do it in real time. So now I have to do it around this post. So I'm going to do the same darn thing. Coming up, I've hooked around the O-ring. I'm bringing one end of the wire up next to the post. They make the post, this wire, 2 different lengths to make your life easier. The other end of the wire, fishing it up there as well. That's it, that's the 2 ends. Now I've hooked that O-ring. Now it's out. I'm done with this. I'm done with the wire for good. Now again, that O-ring, I'm pulling the slack out of the O-ring. I need to push that rubber, or that, I'm pushing this plastic that way to give me a little more slack. Pulling. I'm sorry, I mean, I want to pull the plastic this way so I give myself some slack on the backside. Also push down a little. That's it. I'm behind it. So you can see I can pull this O-ring and it's spinning. So now I need to fish this O-ring underneath, all the way around under the metal, between the metal and the plastic, and I'm going to end up with a bunch of extra. So I do this by pushing down on the gray plastic and fish this in. What I'm trying to get to is, remember, it's got to come all the way out here to this horn. And I guess it sort of self-seats. I mean, I don't know how else you kind of, once you get it in place, once you sort of get it all in there, as long as it's not wrinkled. So I'm pushing down on the gray. I'm spreading it around. You can see some of the goo build up. And again, I'm pushing down on this gray horn. I got a good bit to push down on. And to tell you the truth, it's all gone. I mean, that O-ring is gone in there. And that's it. And, you know, we're gonna see. It went in pretty easy. It slipped pretty easy. I didn't use any soap. I didn't use any lubricant. I am ready to go ahead and put my screws back in. This pulls up the way I want. So let's go ahead and I'm going to use my original screws. I'll take one here. Snug that up. I'm going to take one over here. Snug that up. Snug this one up. They definitely draw tight. and they squeeze this gap all the way tight. Now I've got to put that plastic back in place. All right, I'm going to move you a little. This needs to go up. It snaps in the back wall. That's it. Now I do 2 more screws. One here. Now these are coarse thread screws into plastic. You could strip them out. That would be easy to do. I have dried my hands off now because they were wet, and I'm gonna snug them up just what I think feels good. I don't have any kind of torque spec for this. I'm just my experience of screwing screws into plastic. And they definitely feel like they stop. Now this got really snug all the way around. I've got my 2 baffles in the bottom. I'm ready to put my drain back in, my filter, and put my wash arm in. Now I'm ready to test this thing. I feel good about it. I feel fine. That's how long it took me. It didn't take me long at all. So I am going to go ahead and run this, do some dishes, and I'll try to keep track of how many loads I do. It was to the point where it was leaking on me and filling up and giving me an E-15 error about every 3 loads, maybe every 2 loads. So it was quick. We run this every day. So we'll see how this goes, and I'll report back to you. Okay, first cycle done. I ran it with nothing in it, so that wasn't really much of a stress test. But no E-15 error on cycle 1. Let you know. All right, 2 cycles done. Still running. Gonna load some more stuff in and we'll run it again. Okay, that's 3 loads. Ran some dishes this time. I'm gonna pull it out and look underneath, see if we've got any water. All right, that's 3 loads. That is completely dry. Completely dry. No water at all. So we're going to screw this back in and call it fixed.